Hey everyone. So listen, today I've got something pretty crazy to share with you. A story that was told to me by a doctor friend and honestly, it stuck with me. It's about Gabriel Russo, a 42-year-old photographer. What happened to him in November 2019? Well, let's just say it puts a lot of things into perspective. You know how we often hear about near-death experiences? Well, this one's different. Really different. I'm warning you, it's unsettling. So get comfortable, grab a coffee or a tea, and let me tell you what happened that night on a lonely country road. The accident. So, Gabriel's a wedding photographer. A good guy, family man, you know the type. That night, he was driving home late after a job, around 10:30 p.m. It had been pouring for hours. He was thinking about his wife, his kids waiting for him at home, when he suddenly sees headlights in his rearview mirror. Headlights coming way too fast. A truck barreling down, and from the look of it, the driver wasn't stopping. The impact. Gabriel told me it was like time just froze. His body slammed against the wheel, and then total black. A dead silence. Literally. And that's when things started to get really strange. Out of body. Picture this. Gabriel's floating above his crashed car. He sees his own body, unconscious, trapped in the wreck. Blood trickling down his forehead. But here's the thing. This wasn't like in the movies. He said he could see everything with insane clarity. Pitch dark outside, yet every single detail was sharp, like daylight, even sharper, like looking through his best camera lens, but in 360 degrees. Firefighters arrive, working frantically around the car. Gabriel hears them talking. Weak pulse, internal bleeding. We need to get him out now. But their voices sound warped, far away. And guess what? No pain. None. Just this overwhelming sensation. How did he put it? Like complete freedom. As if he had just taken off a heavy coat he'd been wearing all his life. But that was just the beginning of the journey. The tunnel and the light. And here's where it gets wild. Gabriel feels a force pulling him. But not harshly, gentle, irresistible. Suddenly, he's inside a tunnel, but not a normal tunnel, oh no. The walls, he described them as millions of tiny points of light, moving, pulsing, like living stars. And at the end, there's a light. Not blinding, warm, golden, welcoming. As he moves closer, he begins to hear voices, hundreds, thousands of voices, all singing together. But it wasn't really singing. It was deeper than that. He said it felt like the entire universe was vibrating with pure love. He told me something that really hit me. He said, "You know, I always thought I loved my wife and kids, but in that moment, I realized I didn't even know what love was. What I felt in that tunnel, that was love in its purest form." And then he saw someone. The encounter. A silhouette appeared out of the light. A woman, but not quite human. Gabriel said she was, how did he say it? A beauty beyond anything. Her features kept changing, like she was all women at once. And in her hands, she held a camera. The exact model as Gabriel's very first one, the one his grandfather had given him as a kid. Gabriel recognized her, his grandmother. She had died when he was 8, and she had always supported his passion for photography.
"Gabriel,"
she said, and her voice. Gabriel told me it was like a melody.
"You've spent your life capturing moments, but you never truly looked. Look now."
She pressed the shutter. And suddenly Gabriel was inside one of his own photos, his wedding day. But this time, he saw it differently. He saw people's emotions. His wife's love glowing around her like golden light. His mother's joy sparkling like little stars. Even his father's hidden sadness, thinking about his late mother, appeared like silver veils.
Every moment you captured
His grandmother explained.
held entire universes you never saw. That's what true art is.
The Life Review. And then, my friends, it got intense. Gabriel went through what's called a life review, but not at all like he expected. His whole life unfolded before him, not in chronological order, but by emotions. First, every moment he gave love, then every moment he received it, and then every time he caused harm, whether he meant to or not. The most unsettling part? He didn't just relive his own emotions. He felt the emotions of others too. That time he yelled at his 6-year-old son, he felt his boy's fear and sadness. When he comforted his wife after her father's death, he felt her gratitude.
Every action creates ripples.
His grandmother told him.
Look at how your photos touch people.
And then Gabriel saw something incredible. One of his old portraits of an elderly man hung in the room of a young woman battling depression. That photo helped her survive suicidal thoughts. A wedding photo had inspired a couple on the verge of divorce to reconcile. Pictures of children playing had convinced a woman struggling with infertility to adopt.
Your work saved lives without you even knowing.
His grandmother whispered. The choice. Then came the hardest part. His grandmother held out her hand.
You can come with me now, Gabriel. No more pain, no more fear, no more loneliness. Just infinite love, forever.
Gabriel told me he felt an indescribable peace. Staying in that light, that love, was beyond tempting. But then, he heard something else. Crying. His wife. She was at the hospital, holding his hand, begging the doctors not to give up. He heard his kids asking why their dad wouldn't wake up. And then, he saw the future. Not fixed, but possible. The photos he could still take, the moments he could still capture, the lives he could still touch. His daughter, one day, becoming a photographer herself, inspired by him. His son, thanking him for teaching him to see beauty in little things. I can't leave now, he told his grandmother. She smiled, and in that smile, immense pride.
I knew you'd make the right choice. But remember what you saw here, Gabriel. Every moment is sacred. Every person carries a universe within them. From now on, your photos won't just capture images. They'll capture souls.
And then, she was gone. The return. Coming back into his body, Gabriel said it was brutal. Like plunging into icy water after floating in warmth. Pain rushed in all at once. Broken ribs, head trauma, internal bleeding. But he was alive. His first words when he could finally speak, he asked for his camera. The doctors thought he was delirious. How could he think about work at a time like that? But Gabriel knew. He knew he had a mission. Recovery took weeks, but the moment he could hold a camera again, he started shooting. Only now, it was completely different. He saw more. Not with his eyes, but with something deeper. He caught expressions no one else noticed. He captured moments so full of emotion that even his subjects didn't realize they were living them. His photos changed. People who looked at them were touched in ways they couldn't explain. They carried something, a depth, a truth that went beyond just an image. The consequences. When Gabriel told me all this, we were sitting in a small cafe near his studio. His eyes were shining, not with tears, but with something else, like he was carrying a light from the other side.
You know,
He said,
the hardest part isn't telling the story. It's living with it. Because now I know. I know we're all connected in invisible ways. Every gesture, every word, every glance has consequences we can't imagine.
He showed me his latest project, a series of portraits of people at the end of their lives. These photos, breathtaking. You could see peace, wisdom, acceptance, not death, but transformation,
Before my accident,
he told me.
I photographed appearances. Now I photograph essence. And essence, it's eternal.
Since then, Gabriel has held several exhibitions. His photos have touched thousands. He also runs workshops teaching people how to truly see, as he calls it. But the most haunting part was what he told me as he left. Epilogue. Sometimes, Gabriel said, standing up,
When I develop my photos in the darkroom, I see things that weren't there when I took them. Halos of light around certain people. Translucent figures standing next to others. I don't know if it's my imagination, a flaw in the process, or if
he stopped, smiled.
I brought something back with me. Something that lets me see what was already there. Just invisible.
So, what do you think? Hallucination from lack of oxygen? A drug-induced dream? Or a real glimpse of what's waiting for us after? I don't have an answer, but I'll tell you this. Since Gabriel told me his story, I see the world differently. I pay more attention to the little details, the fleeting expressions, the everyday moments of grace. Maybe that's the real message. Whether the afterlife exists or not, what matters is learning to see the beauty and the love around us now, while we're alive. And you? What do you think? Have you ever experienced something unexplainable? Ever felt like you were seeing more than just what your eyes showed you? Conclusion. All right, that's it for today. I hope this story made you think, maybe even gave you a few chills. Tell me in the comments what you thought, and if you've ever had a similar experience. These stories really help me prepare the next episodes. Take care of yourselves, keep your eyes open to the world around you, and who knows, maybe you'll see things you've never noticed before. See you soon for another story that challenges our understanding of the world.